Someone asked me to share more publishing and distribution resources for indie authors, specifically saying they had been considering IngramSpark but had heard some bad things. Let's talk about it. First, the two main players you need to know about are KDP and IngramSpark. KDP is the best practice for publishing and distributing onto Amazon, period. If you're publishing a book and want for it to be available through Amazon, either Kindle or print, KDP is your best resource for that. It's free, it's fast, and you keep more of your royalties. IngramSpark is best for distributing your book wide outside of Amazon. And yes, some authors do have complaints about IngramSpark, and I've made some myself. But it's still the best way to get your book listed on the websites for places like Barnes & Noble, Walmart, indie bookstores, and elsewhere. That said, like I've talked about before, I do not recommend as an indie author that you try to use IngramSpark to get your book into physical traditional bookstores as a core piece of your business. Those stores often require you to accept returns and to give them a massive discount, usually 55%. And that's where indie authors get burned. You get hit with return fees, you make pennies or nothing on the sale. So if you do use IngramSpark, I recommend two things. Don't allow returns, and don't offer the full 55% discount. That doesn't mean IngramSpark is bad. It just means physical traditional bookstores have old school policies that don't work well for indie authors. Now, ebooks. For distributing outside of Amazon, I recommend Draft to Digital. It's easy to use, the support is great, and it gets your ebooks into Apple Books, Kobo, Barnes & Noble, libraries, all sorts of other places. You can also use Draft to Digital to publish print books, but what a lot of people don't realize is they actually use IngramSpark behind the scenes. So if you use Draft to Digital for print, you're still technically in the IngramSpark ecosystem. You just don't deal with it directly. There are pros and cons to every platform, but these three, KDP, IngramSpark, and Draft to Digital, are the main ones that most indie authors use. There are some other options that are more niche, but these are the ones that I use myself for publishing my books. So if you're overwhelmed, breathe. You don't need to be everywhere. Start with Amazon via KDP. Add Draft to Digital if you're not in Kindle Unlimited and locked to exclusivity there. And then use IngramSpark for wider distribution if you want your print books to be outside of Amazon.